Hi, sixth grade math. How are you guys doing today? It's Mr. Hussey here, just ready to do Tuesday's math lesson. I want to start with a couple things. I'm looking into a program here. It may take me a little bit to figure it out, but it's called Kami, K-I-M-I. And what it does is it lets you write in here using your computer. Like you can write answers and type answers here, so you wouldn't have to do it on the separate paper like we've been doing it. So I'll let you know if I can figure that out and roll that out. I'll let you know. But for today, we're gonna go ahead and take our notes on separate paper. Or if you want to go ahead and print this out, you can also do that. So just a verse from Philippians 4. I want to encourage you guys with. It says, I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So I just want to encourage you guys and myself that at this time with the COVID-19 keeping us in our homes, prayerfully your family's doing okay. But I want to try to learn how to be content with the things I have instead of always wanting more food or more, sports events or more of this or more of that. So I just want to encourage you guys with that to really dig into God. And when you have a little bit of free time, go to Him in prayer or through scripture reading or try to help someone. And try to let that be like your food. That's what fills you. And I'd like to get better at that. So, and prayerfully, the Lord will help us if we ask Him for those kind of things. So, good to see you guys today. Let's go ahead and get started with this distributive property. So you're going to take some notes here with me, and then you'll have some homework to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and label this the distributive property. Okay, so number one, they want you to see that if you had something like this last week, okay, we would use the order of operations to do this. So we would say 3 plus 9, because it's in parentheses, is done first. So 3 plus 9 is 12. And then 6 times 12, well, 6 times 10 is 60. And then 6 times 2 is 12. So 60 plus 12 is 72. Okay, so that's the way we would have done it. Now, when you distribute things, think of like a basketball player who distributes the ball. That means they pass the ball. Or if you distribute like money to the poor, then you're giving money to people who need it. Okay, so distribute, the word distribute means you do this. Okay, you draw a little arrow there and a little arrow there. And this means that it's 6 times 3, which is 18. Make sure you write this down. And then 6 times 9, which is 54. And we're going to keep that little plus in the middle. All right, so another way of saying this is 6 times 3 plus 6 times 9. And 18 plus 54, if we were to do that over here, you're still going to get 72. Okay, so 72 or 72 here. Okay, so that's the distributive property. All right, let's try number 2. Would you try number 2? With the arrow way, like the way I did it this over here, would you go ahead and try that? The way with the arrows, would you distribute that 5 into the 9 and into the 2? You can go ahead and pause the video, give it a shot. Okay, now most of the time they draw the arrows up here. The first time I drew it down here, it doesn't really matter. At some point in your mathematical career, you'll stop drawing the arrows. You'll just do 5 times 9 is 45. And then 5 times 2 is 10, and we just keep that plus in there. If that was a minus, we would drop a minus down. So 45 plus 10. Okay, now if you want to, you can go ahead and put 55 down here. That's fine. And you'll notice that if you did this following the order of operations, you would just do 9 plus 2 first, right? So that's 11. 5 times 11 is 55. All right? So you say, well, Mr. Hussey, why are we doing it differently? All right, that's a good question because sometimes you'll run across problems. Let's just do number 3 real quick here. So 3, you would have 2 times 8, so you'd write down 16. You bring down your minus, and then you'd have the 2 times the 4, which is 8. Okay, so when there's a minus sign, you'll just drop down that minus. Okay, and 6 minus 8, if you want to go ahead and put an 8 there, you can. All right? All right, now we're going to go ahead and move down here further. So let's move down to this area. We'll call this number 3. And then on your paper, I'm getting this from here. Okay, so if you have like 7x plus 2, this is why we use the distributive property. Because in this case, we can't really add an x plus 2 if we were going to do the order of operations. So we got to look at it like this. 7 times x, which is 7x, plus, you can copy down that plus, 7 times 2, which is 14. All right? So our statement's going to be 7x plus 14. And you'll see why that's important later, because sometimes there might be an equal sign and we might have to solve for x. We might have to figure out what x is, okay? So today they're just kind of teaching you this thing which we call the distributive property. So it's the property that's used the most. Remember a few days ago we talked about the identity property. We talked about the commutative property. We talked about the associative property. The inverse property on a separate like 7-minute video. I did the inverse property with you. This is the property you'll see the most often in like middle school and high school. Okay. All right. So let's move on here. The distributive property allows us to multiply each term inside parentheses by the number outside the parentheses. Okay, so if you want to write that down, you can. I'm not going to make you write that down today. Algebraically, we would say we are going to write this part down. So over here on our notes, we're going to write this part down right here. So it would be a plus b so if you see something like this is part of our notes, so make sure you write this down. If you see something like this, they want you to know that this would mean a times b, which they'll write as ab. We'll take that plus a times c, which is ac. So they just don't, in their notes here, in the teacher's notes here, they don't draw the little arrows, but they're doing a times b gives you ab plus a times c gives you ac. Okay. If you have one like this, then they want you to know that that means AB minus A times C. Okay. And then be careful with your signs when multiplying positives and negatives, it says. So that's just a little tip there. We'll talk about that later. All right, number 4. On number 4, each of the 4 members of the Robinson family ordered a drink, 2 slices of pizza, and then also an ice cream cone. So if 4 different people did that, then obviously you would have 4 of these, right? 4 ice cream cones, but you'd have 8 slices of pizza because each person got 2. So it's like distributing. They want you to see how that's distributing this. So it would be like 4 of those. So down here or on your paper, you could write 4 sodas, 8 slices of pizza, and then 4 ice cream cones. All right. Okay, down here in your area model, this would be like they want you to see that the 5 times 3x would give you like 15x's, and then 5 times 2 would give you 10. Okay. Over here, you'd have 7 times x, which is 7x's. And then here you'd have 7 times a negative 9, so you gotta be careful there. That'd be a negative 63. Okay? So if you have your separate sheet of paper, they want you to know that this is a plus 10 because since it's a positive 2, that 5 times 2 will be a plus 10. Okay, we don't have to put a plus 15 here in the front just because it's assumed that that's a plus 15. But this is going to make like a little kind of equation, not equation, but a expression. Okay, so that's why they want the plus here. And for this one, it'd be 7x minus 63 because 7 times the negative 9 will be a minus. All right, so go ahead and do that. If you didn't write the second one down, please write that down. Okay. We'll go ahead and flip over our paper for our notes. Okay, it says here to use the distributive property to simplify the expressions below. So 2 parentheses x plus 6, I'm just getting that from right here. The expanded form would be 2 times x plus 2 times 6. So 2 times x plus 2 times 6. And then the simplest form would be 2x plus 2 times 6 is 12. 2x plus 12. Number 7. The expanded form would be 7 times 5 plus 7 times p. And then the simplest form would be 7 times 5, which is 35, plus 7p. Number 8. Go ahead, you might want to pause the video, give that one a shot. So the expanded form would be 8 times 7. Then we bring down our minus, be careful you bring down that minus, and then 8 times g. The simplest form would be 8 times 7, which is 56, minus 8g. All right, number 9. Now, sometimes you won't see these little arrows that I'm putting. I just do that to help you see the 8 distributing into the 7 and distributing into the g. All right, but let's do this one without the arrows. So 12 times r would be 12r, and 12 times here's how I do it. I just drop this minus down and then do 12 times 9 would be 12 times 9. Okay, so the simplest form, well, 9 times 10 is 90, right? And 9 times 2 is 18, so that's what? 10 more than 90 is 100, plus 8 more is 108. All right, so we got 12r minus 108. All right, now below here on this part of your sheet, it says distribute the coefficient in each expression below. All right, so why don't you guys go ahead and try, let's do the evens. If you want to do all of them, you can, but let's do the evens. Why don't you watch me do one, then pause the video, do the rest, and then come back and check and see if you're getting those right, okay? So number 10, why don't you watch this one? This would be 5 times 3x will be 15x plus 5 times 10 would be 50. Okay, now I'm cutting out that intermediate step. So they're calling it up here expanded form. So if you wanted to put that expanded form, you could say 5 times 3x plus 5 times 10. Okay, I'm just saying 5 times 3x is 15x, and 5 times 10 is 50. All right? Why don't you guys try 12, 14, 16, and 18? All right, try 12, 14, 16, and 18. And then pause the video, give it a shot, and then start up the video. All right, so for 12, it would be 72. Bring down our minus. Make sure you have that minus. Don't put a plus there. And then 12 times 2x is 24x. All right, number 14 would be 4x's. Bring down our minus. 4y's. And number 16 would be 10x's. Bring down our minus. 5y's. Number 18 would be 21 plus 3y's. Okay, and then just real quick, I'm going to go over the other ones. This one would be 3x plus 12. This one will be 12x plus 30. This one will be 27 plus 36y. And then this one would be 14x plus 21y. All right. So if you have any questions, you know I always have office hours from 8 to 9 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. I'm very attentive to my emails and texts and those messages and stuff you give me then. So you can always ask me questions, or you can rewind the video and take a look at what you didn't get. So make sure you take these notes, take a picture of them, and then do the homework. Okay, so your homework's going to be right here. It's a little puzzle, so you'll get an answer here to find the name of a mystery person. Now, to show your work, like for number 1, I want you to show your work like this. So 5 times 3 is, you don't have to do the arrows. Maybe do an arrow for like 1 or 2 of the problems. That's probably a good idea. And then you would have bring down that minus and then 5x. So you have 15x minus 5x. So that's showing your work. And then you come over here. Obviously, we can see it right there. So I'm sorry, it's not 15x, my fault. It's just 15, right? 5 times 3 is just 15. So we got 15 minus 5x, which is this one. So I'm going to come over here, take my line, draw my line through there, and then it says, after all the questions have been completed, unscramble the remaining letters to form the name of a mystery person. So it looks like F and N are out. They won't be, you can't use these two letters to unscramble at the bottom. All right, so all the letters that have a line through them, you won't use. All right, so then upload those. Hopefully this is a little simpler assignment today. Not simpler, but just maybe a little quicker to complete. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless you and take care.